is what I call go and search for it, my friend.
It's current affairs.
4 years course, metamorphosing into 6 years.
And news that
Affects you.
What an academic academic in their leadership rococo, leadership brababare.
it's all the serious stuff.
But with a light-hearted twist.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Aghogho.
Join us 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday
Right here.
on Hard Facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon, and welcome to Hard Facts. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Shakumaku, everybody. I'm Aghogho.
Yeah.
On this go.
He's losing more and more of his mind.
I just remember that Sandra's headset wasn't the one that was going to, blow up the eardrums. But it's a hot, humid afternoon this fine Tuesday, Sandra.
Yeah, Tuesday afternoon.
A lot of people have been wondering what happened to the rain. But
They've seized the beat, so we're back on dry land.
okay, so the governor of Lagos, I'm sure, is delighted because his promises of beginning the work on the roads is
As soon
time
as the
to
rain clears.
rain clears. But just before we say, the rain may fall this night again.
Thank you for tuning into Hard Facts. I go on I here every day, bringing you the best insights into today's most important subjects. We break them down for you. We bring them to you every day. You form an informed opinion afterwards. If you missed any of our shows, you can catch it online, Facebook and YouTube. And today we've got a great show as well. Nigerian 4FM, by the way, that's our Facebook and YouTube. We've got a great show. Lai Mohammed says government will sanitize social media of hate speech and fake news. That's on the big three. Also on the big three, federal government seizes 3 billion naira worth of goods at Tin Can Port today. And Oshimbajo tells police to stop harassing young people with laptops. What's on Community Report, Aghogho?
Yeah, so Chukwudi is going to be continuing a story he left
No.
a couple of months ago, which is to do with the roads.
Okay.
So he's going to be visiting somewhere around the
TBS.
neighborhood of the Tafawa Balewa Square. So you know the Tafawa Balewa Square we all know, which is where the BRT is parked. Is the Tafawa Balewa we know. Incidentally, that's actually the back of Tafawa Balewa Square.
I see.
Many people think that is the front. Now, the front of Tafawa Balewa Square, which many people don't know, is where Chukwudi is going to be. And the road there...
Why is he going to the
oh
real
my
front
goodness.
this time?
Because that's the real front. Because that's the one we don't get to see very often. The adverts show you the BRT and the rest of that. It's called the fine sights of Lagos. Enter inside. Inside is where the real problems are with the road. I mean, it's a nightmare. So Chukwudi is going to be there to talk with people and... look forward to seeing.
It will be
what
quite the
happens
thing.
here. Yeah, it will be.
On the big hard fact, today we're looking at Aghogho Steel Complex. We'll analyze why the project has taken so long to materialize, and we'll also talk about the way forward. And then we will wrap up with a new introduction on hard facts.
Yes. So we've been talking about this cryptically for the last couple of days, Sandra and I. So there's a new show coming up. It's called Conversations with Rufai. Rufai Hussein is a great guy. So
I can hear people say, I know that show. I know where that show. That's right, people. It's a coup. We brought it over here.
All right.
So you can listen to it here on your number one news talk and sports radio station. Yeah, that's how we do. Yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after the news at 6, after the news at 6, by 6:15, Rufai Hussein will be on with Conversations with Rufai, and it's a new show which is going to be happening Mondays and Tuesdays. He'll tell you a lot more about it when he comes up just after the news at 6. So we are in the gang for a great show.
Oh, yes, indeed. We'll bring you the latest updates from the world of sports, business, entertainment, and news. But let's get started with the big three.
This is the Big Three
The Big Three on Hard Facts.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You know what to expect on the big three stories that everybody is talking about right now. Do we need a special crusade against hate speech and fake news? Does the police lack capacity to investigate crime properly? And is government handling illegal importation the right way? These are the stories in our big three. Let's get into them. The Minister for Information, Lai Mohammed, has said the federal government is going to take steps into in his own words, sanitizing the social media space. Speaking at a press briefing today, Mohammed said the government is committed to injecting sanity into social media without gagging the press. Mohammed said, quote, "No responsible government will sit by and allow fake news and hate speech to dominate its media space because of the capacity of this menace to exploit our national fault lines, to set us against each other and trigger a national conflagration. That is why we will continue to evolve ways to tackle fake news and hate speech until we banish both." Now, Lai Mohammed has talked about this a lot, Aghogho, eh?
A lot. I mean, he's the one who's taken the most flack from several quarters on how the government intends to deal with this. And I don't envy anyone who wants to go around this. I remember when I was in the States and did visit a number of media houses. And the first question I had in mind, because the social media thing was like a real fire then. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was asking them, so have you guys been able to deal with social media? And then fake news was just beginning to come in. And they said, we won't ask you the same question too, because we don't have a handle of it over here. And they also said they think that it's something new. It's an organic thing. Most of those excesses will, like many things in life, find their level, and then they'll be able to get what exactly the real worth. And I thought there's a lot of wisdom in that. But we sort of have our own ingenious Nigerian way in dealing with things. And so a number of questions I see people asking about what this sort of thing is, a threat to our democracy or not, like the government has insisted over and over. What does this regulation mean for you and I, Sandra, and the mainstream media, implications for social media? And then this big one, I like, Bimbo Awoyele, who put this up on WhatsApp on some pointers that I think are of great interest to a lot of people. What if the information considered to be fake news is coming from government quarters? How do you deal with it? And then the one which has been the most bandied rhetorical question every time is, who defines what fake news is or alternative news is? And so those are things I think are going to be of great concern moving forward, while this panel of wise men work on this report. Like Chunji Andrews used to say, I want to be the fly on the wall that can look into the proceedings of these meetings.
It's not just the executive that has talked about this. The previous National Assembly also debated a social media bill, which, if passed into law, would have given government wide powers to register social media users. But let's take what Mr. Mohammed is saying piece by piece. First, he's talking about hate speech and fake news. These are two things that most Nigerians, in fact, most people in the world, agree are a problem. But some people argue that it's quite tricky to define and outlaw, and that there's a danger of overreaching when trying to fight them and ending up stifling free speech. So it's interesting that he mentions, we're going to try and do this without gagging the press. And then, of course, you have those who point out that government doesn't need to do anything more than enforce the laws that already exist. There are laws against incitement, Aghogho. If somebody tells you, kill everybody from town X, or people from town X don't deserve to live, that person has committed a tangible crime.
Right.
Incitement. The police can arrest that person. The Attorney General can prosecute them. So many people say there's no need to start trying to define hate speech or making it a separate crime with its own laws. If someone is inciting violence based on religion or tribe or state of origin, they are already guilty of incitement, and this should be enough for the law to come after them. Same with fake news. Libel and slander are already offenses as well. If somebody spreads fake news about you, you can take them to court. So is that enough? That's the question we're asking on the show today. Are the current laws against incitement, slander, libel, and defamation enough? Or does government need new special tools to go after hate speech and fake news?
All right, just before we go on the ad, something very important to point out, because it's already been exhibited in a number of spaces where you've had at the different levels, as pointed out by Amnesty International in its recent report, which has shown scores of journalists in Nigeria at some point or the other having been detained for what has been considered stories which are offensive to the government. Take Cross River State, for example, where the latest campaign is going on, where our dear friend Agbajalingo has been in detention for a number of months. Another guy was picked up also too, considered social media news for certain questions they posed at the state governor at that point in time. And now there are groups which are saying that the United States bar the governor of Cross River, Ben Ayade, from going to the state. So you're already seeing it exhibited in how people interpret any abuse to their powers because they're in authority as being people who are threatening democracy or calling for impeachment or treason, like in the case of Agbajalingo. So it will be a very interesting conversation.
Yes, indeed. After the break, let's have it when you call us on 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993 and 3993. We've got Clementine on standby as well. We'll be talking to her after the break as well. So start sending us messages on Facebook and WhatsApp if you want us to take your comments on this social media story. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Lagos, we've got Clementine Okonye on the line with us. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I am Aghogho, Oboh.
The Nigeria Customs Service today showcased seizures made by the Tin Can Command, which comprises 54 containers with goods worth over 3 billion naira filled with expired rice, tires, vegetable oil, and tramadol. Nigeria Info is on the scene, reporting to you live from Tin Can, where the seizure took place. Our correspondent Clem. Hello, Clem.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Clem. Please go ahead. Tell us this seizure that's
Good
happened.
afternoon.
Brilliant. This seizure which has happened. Give us an idea what is contained in the seizure and how significant it is compared with other seizures.
Okay, the Customs Board said the partial closure of the land border has forced the right smugglers to attempt using the port. And this has also led to the seizure of 33 containers of expired rice, used tires, clothes, vegetable oil, and pharmaceutical products such as tramadol. These goods were also from China and Thailand, all expired. The rice, they are all expired rice. Apparently, due to the border closure, they couldn't go through
the usual route.
Land border.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
To try the port.
Do we know what led to the seizure? Was it a tip-off or was it just a routine check?
I think it was a tip-off.
Tip-off.
Yeah.
Now, previously, when we have discussed importation, the government has insisted that items are not banned. They've said that government will simply not make forex available for these items. So are they saying now that it is illegal to bring in these items even if the importer got their forex from somewhere else?
No, it was expired. I think that was what made them to seize the goods. They were expired. 2018. Yes, 2018.
Huh. I see.
And you know something, Clem,
You will
about...
recall that. Yeah?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, you will recall that in the past that the service has always said that this rice brought in from other countries are either expired or about to expire. So this is what we saw today. Most of this rice, I must tell you, the stink, the smell, they are all expired. And the date written on it is 2018.
Wow. You know something, Clem, also about this this spectacle that usually happens when goods are seized, contraband and all of that. The part we don't often hear is the people behind the importation and what the authorities intend to do with them. We never get to hear that side of the story about whether there will be any punishment for the people who were involved or what sort of legal action has happened. Any update on this one?
Yeah, he said that investigations are on to unravel those behind the import.
Okay. Do we know if the government has identified the owner of the containers? Is it a single owner? Is it many owners?
No, it's not a single owner. It's 54 containers.
Okay. Belonging to different...
Right now, they are belonging to different people.
Okay.
Right now, they are on the run. But they say, and the Customs Board said they are training them to ensure that they bring them to book.
I see. On a slightly different note, how congested or free does the place look, at the port? Does the government's program to decongest the port appear to be working?
Yes, I must say, today I just entered the port today and I can say that the port is not really congested. It's a bit free. The goods are not as in... I remember before now, the port was congested with people hanging around to clear all that. But right now, the port has been congested. It's not so... Yeah.
Okay.
It's free entry. You enter smoothly and you have to move out.
So you'd say that the government's efforts seem to be working?
Yes, it is. It's what I saw on ground today.
All right. Thank you, Clementine Okonye, for talking to us from your business beat.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's talk about what you think of this seizure of containers. Do you think the contents of these shipments deserve to be confiscated? Yes, if they're expired, they do. Do you believe that, the customs boss are doing well enough with, this job that they're supposed to do? Make sure that our imports are safe, as well as the first story. Don't forget that first story is one that you can comment on as well. Do you think that the current laws Nigeria has against incitement, slander, libel, and defamation are enough? Or does government need new special tools to go after hate speech and fake news? We've got comments on WhatsApp.
Yeah, we got comments on WhatsApp. Let's see this one. Good afternoon. Mr. Lai Mohammed should go to the Supreme Court and have it interpret what exactly can be classified as fake news or hate speech. Other than that, we should forever hold his peace. The Vice President Oshibajo just a few days ago stated that he did not think the way to go is for government to be directly involved in checkmating social media. Was he stating his personal opinion or speaking as the second most senior officer and the president? I recommend that they get their acts together up and they should stop confusing us. TCP White from Lagos Island. Shaku Maku, I like the way. Same for you too. Thank you very much. God bless you, Emmanuel. The Nigerian press should protest this nonsense about regulating them by the federal government. So will the press wait for this so-called government teach them their jobs? Emmanuel from Iyano Solo.
Kayode
from the Cotton says, just a pity that the same man, Lai Mohammed, that used all his verbal arsenal years ago can now be talking about hate speeches and whatever. Let them pass the FY bill. Then, well, that's been passed already. It's already been in existence for a number of years. So let's try that and see. All right, take one more. Lai Mohammed should remember the social media helped a great deal in bringing them to power. In any case, there's nothing like regulating social media. It's either you gag it or allow free media. So they come out playing what they want to do. Noble J from Isolo.
Well, someone wants to find out if Rufai Oseni is now with us. Can you see that message?
Yeah. Hi, sisters. Rufai Oseni now with you guys at 99.3. Oh, yes, he is.
Tune in today at 6:15 and you can have conversations with Rufai Oseni right here. That's right. It's WWC over here. Is it WWF or WCW? Yes, either one. That's what it is.
WWF.
Versus WCW. Remember that time that, which one was the fighter that was supposed to fight on WWF and then next morning was at WCW?
I can't remember. But I know WWF had all the best guys. Undertaker, Hulk Hogan.
All right, let's go to the phone lines.
NWA was the worst of them all.
Let's pick one call and then move to the final story today. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Gabriel, calling from Ikoyi.
Welcome, Gabriel.
I want to get this thing clear. The since rise, is this in 2018?
Yes, it was. She says some of the rights expired in 2018.
Yes.
Okay, yes, 2018. I wonder whether rights expire.
It does expire.
Rights expire. Hey.
Rights expires, my brother, man.
Okay. All right, Gabriel. Thanks for calling. Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has told the police to stop harassing young people for carrying laptops. Osinbajo was given the opening address at the 3-day retreat for top police officers where he was representing President Muhammadu Buhari, who is out of the country. Osinbajo said, quote, recently, many civil society groups have complained about the arrest of young men and women just because they look successful and are carrying laptops. Yes, we must apprehend Yahoo criminals, but we cannot harass young men and women on the streets and in taxis, most of whom are merely going about their legitimate businesses. End of quote. The ongoing retreat is meant to help the police force develop new strategies for tackling the rising criminal threats in the country. A clear message. Aghogho.
Clear message. A former boss once told me an interesting story about this laptop issue at Bonny Camp. And then they were driving, and then the policeman, because there's this regular checkpoint at Bonny Camp, whether they say there's the ban on checkpoint or not, that checkpoint always remains. And the guys there said, park! And he parked, and they said, what do you have there? And he said, laptop. Park! Come out! And then, and the policeman cocked the gun, and he was looking at him, and he said, let me see. And then he opened it. He said, now computer now. He said, yes, now. For tell me it's in a computer now.
What did he think laptop was?
Well, so that's the problem here. Maybe, I guess the policemen who the vice president is speaking with think that laptop is a device that goes with Yahoo, not necessarily a computer. So
I see.
Maybe we let them know that laptop is a computer. So the vice president say, don't harass guys with computers, not laptop.
Unfortunately, we're out of time because we have to get in touch with the guys at Raleigh Academy.
All right. So we just got a quick one here that Frank Mbao will be providing. Ijoma Ezekwesili is covering the senior police officers retreat just close to us here at the hotel with 3 people who will be speaking on this at some point during today's show. And so we'll just be on standby for that from 4 p.m.
Fantastic. All right. We're going to be connecting with them at the retreat today. But here's fantastic information about Forex. Here's why you should be making money from Forex.
9.3 Nigeria Info.